Clark had returned. Injury without practicing at full pace. Let that sink in. The most valuable player in the league. The athlete was pushed back into the spotlight following a single full speed
drill. Why?
Ratings, sales of tickets, pressure. Whatever the justification, the outcome was catastrophe. She got hurt again, herself almost instantly. Additionally, that's when the line was drawn by Clark. That's when she made the decision that enough was enough. What's emerging is more than simply a soft damage to the tissues. It serves as a roadmap for failure of the institution. Each injury relates the same tale: quick recuperation, unfinished rehabilitation, and a medical staff more focused on results and appearances. 4. When Caitlin Clark joined the league, she was a symbol of an age. This betrayal isn't. It's personal, not just physical. She believed that Indiana would take care of her. Rather, they used her as a means to be used, rather than a legacy to be safe. Additionally, when the trust is broken, you can't go back. Consequently, this is no longer solely about rehabilitation. It's regarding deference. Clark's denial of working with the trainers of the Fever is a mutiny, an outspoken admission that she will no longer put her health at risk for a structure that doesn't respect her endurance. Additionally, in that choice, she's not merely preserving herself. She is revising the guidelines for all upcoming WNBA superstar who observes the events of this drama. However, the greatest surprise was not from the tunnels of the Barclays Center. On July 22nd, following a terrible loss of the New York Clark Liberty was seen in what seemed to be a commercial gathering rather than a informal conversation. She and her agent participated in a serious, thoughtful talking with the head coach of Liberty, Sandy Brondello, and the cast of the franchise, Sabrina Ionescu and Brianna Stewart. The pictures were leaked. The internet went crazy. There was no hearsay about it. This served as a warning. What were they talking about? We might never understand the precise phrases, but the existence. Enough, her agent said. This wasn't a hug after the game. This was a calculated move. Placement. The crystal optics. Evident. The Liberty is prepared. All set to rescue, prepared to repair, and prepared to provide care. Caitlin Clark enjoys being treated like queen. And when chaos erupts in Indiana, other franchises have already started to get ready their sales pitches. Because, to be clear, when a famous person like Clark begins searching elsewhere, it's only a question of time. Indiana is aware of it as well. For this reason, Fever leadership's silence has turned deafening. No refusal, no clarification, only ambiguous medical updates and conversations with defensive coaches. According to Stephanie White, she has not talked to instructors. According to the team, there isn't schedule. What they fail to mention is the one important factor: what we're doing. All to make this right, since they're not at all. They are actually witnessing things fall apart. Time. Clark is constructing her in the meantime. Fortress. Visiting doctors in New York. Organizing her own recuperation strategies. She has established an outside team, a network experts who don't respond to her, but to the Fever. Additionally, in doing thus, she has reversed the WNBA's authority structure atop its head. She is no longer the player is taking commands. She is in charge, creating her own story of recovery. Additionally, that's why does this seem so much larger than basketball? What makes this tale so? The fact that it didn't have to be heartbreaking. Be in this manner. Once in a lifetime, the Fever had a opportunity for generation. Clark handed him everything. National games sold out. Headlines, a berth to the playoffs, and millions in fresh income. All she requested in return was security, trust, and a framework that allow her to flourish. Rather, they provided a medical evaluation and a coaching change, catastrophe, and a strategy that attempted to reduce her to a role-playing game. That is treachery, not merely failure. Do you recall Christie's sides? She might not have been flawless, but she recognized one.
Holy reality.
You're not a bench. Genius.
Clark was given the ball by sides.
Allow her to take charge, and Clark will reward her. Her with record-breaking rookie numbers and a victorious campaign.
Stephanie, White is on the
Wants her to play ball, however, intends to reduce the skill set itself. She became legendary as a result. That isn't coaching. That is sabotage. You don't Magic Johnson's draft, then give the ball to a participant. You don't inquire. To stand in the corner is Steph Curry.
And
Caitlin Clark is not taken by you, the most talented passer in women's basketball who create shots. Basketball and instruct her to hold off.
turn.
She is the offender. The system ought to circle her. Additionally, when it does not, the outcomes are precisely what we are observing: disorder, bewilderment, and collapse. Additionally, let's discuss the
Scoreboard.
without Clark, the fever of 4 to 6. Indeed, they've experienced moments of proficiency, but flashes aren't winning titles. Vision prevails, leadership, and a framework based on its star. Clark is more than simply a decent participant. She is the distinction between a contender for the championship and a squad that hardly makes it to the postseason. Nevertheless, Indiana continues to demonstrate its ability to win. Without her, that conceit will be their demise. Since the reality is, they have nothing owed to Clark.
She's
Already received more than was fair. She's taking back control now.
when
Supporters wonder why she's upset and why she's hence the reason she's picking her own. It's not because she's a doctor. Dramatic. She's finished, that's why. Completed. With meaningless assurances. I'm done being a
pawn.
She is finished giving up her body for a franchise that never provided it with protection in. First,
Now the
repercussions are starting to appear in full day. Every day that goes by, not only are the Indiana Fever losing games, their credibility is eroding. Foundation. Clark has changed from rookie sensation to WNBA legend in less than a
year.
Despite this, she's being treated as a movable pawn, a disposable asset, for convenience. And that's the section where the Fever comprehended. Caitlin Clark is not able to. Must have the Indiana Fever. The Indiana. She is vital to Fever. Additionally, that desperation is starting to manifest in every uncomfortable interview, every ambiguous press release, and all of the fans who are unable to cannot help but notice that the happiness has vanished from her game. Because, to be clear, this goes beyond injuries. This is regarding treachery. It is audible in Clark's most recent interviews, although the words are refined, the eyes convey everything. The same athlete who previously inspired the court with unwavering confidence now accompanies fatigue of a person compelled to bear more than a basketball. She is toting a damaged system, a franchise in decline, and the unachievable expectation that she needs to correct, all while playing with an injury.
And
Along the way, she came to the realization she is not accountable for that.
what?
Occurs when the league's most talented. Does the light start to flicker? Not as a result of capacity, but due to fatigue. Institutional, emotional, and physical. 23-year-old Caitlin Clark and approaching with a veteran's voice already. Burnout. For the first time, I feel like a youthful person, she confessed on the weekend of All-Star. That. A soundbite, no. It was an appeal for assist. An assertion that the system constructed to help her has instead begun to empty her from within. Additionally, if Indiana is slow to act and won't merely be her departing body, it will be her heritage. And the fever continues to appear. Think they can weather the storm. That if they simply remain silent for a while sufficiently, Clark's body will be restored, eager and able to follow the line. However, revolutions don't operate like that. Revolutions are irreversible. They sprang forth. Reconciliation is not what Clark is seeking. She wants to be free. Freedom from manipulation in medicine. Freedom from coaching theories that make her feel genius. Not being a franchise that views talent across generations as a replacement component in a broken device. Other groups are already circling the Aces, the Liberty, franchises with the necessary facilities, the leadership, and above all, the honor to provide Clark with the career she
Deserves.
Additionally, Indiana is still holding on to a past that has vanished, exists. In the past, Caitlin Clark required them. That delusion has died. Since the balance of power has changed,
Clark
possesses a brand, a platform, and leverage. Additionally, if the fever doesn't cause her to just stay, they will soon be remembered. Not the group that selected Caitlin in the draft, Clark, but as her losing team. And that day is rapidly approaching. You are able to sense it in each void word from the front desk, in each of Clark's pictures, observing from the bench, facial expression, unreadable, in each fan's tweet that responds, "I wouldn't blame her. She left." The topic of discussion has shifted. It's not longer regarding Clark's injuries. It concerns if Indiana can be trusted to keep her safe and to construct, to merit her. Additionally, as of right now, the answer is now dangerously ambiguous. This isn't just a sports story anymore. It's a warning story that resonates throughout each professional league. Every front office has a locker room.
When
You disregard your stars. When don't treat icons as liabilities. Be shocked when they leave.
and
Don't question why when they do. The indicators were usually present, inscribed on the groin. Tensions and the trainers quiet and emotional. Hushed meetings and sideline stares. With opposing coaches, it's not an abrupt change. It's calculated, purposeful, and surgical. Clark is not having a fit.
she's putting out a statement.
She has finished playing. Hurt for those who refuse to keep her safe. The marketing machine is finished, but
Her body is disintegrating.
completed, giving up her future in favor of an company that doesn't consider her as greater than a headline. She's moving away, not due of her weakness, but because she is knowledgeable and wise. Her value, as well as the league's other players, is also aware of it. The following chapter is the pen is in Caitlin, but it is not written. The hands of Clark. The fever may tear or restart the script, rebuild, and start over. Their approach to medicine, reset her there. Putting their faith in coaching vision, wholeheartedly in the star that delivered them. Or they can observe her entering another city, another dynasty, another uniform. Since the reality is that Clark's legacy will always climb the soul. The remaining query is whether Indiana will climb with her or be abandoned in the wreckage of what might have been, due to the fact that this is how it finishes. Not in a festive manner, not with a banner, but without a word. Deafening. Intentional quiet, the type that comes after grandeur has departed from the construction. Additionally, if the fever doesn't go away, course, right away, that quiet may reverberate for years throughout their franchise.
To follow.
Recently, during an all-star weekend, Clark disclosed something in the interview. Relaxing. For the first time, I not feel like a youthful physique capable of everyday sprint and runabout.
That's
a confession, not a quote.
a
23 years old and in her prime athletic years, already experiencing the burden of being abused. Her voice was thoughtful, her Words that linger. This has nothing to do with one. Harm. The system was the focus of the discussion. Been tearing her apart one by one.
And
The rest was revealed by the images.
the towel.
Above the head, the faraway glance on the bench, the reserved demeanor. These are not merely symptoms of physical discomfort. They indicate a psychological break. Additionally, when a guy like Clark, self-assured, calm, authoritative, and begins to look unsure, it ought to frighten everyone in that front desk, since celebrities like her don't be unsure for too long. They produce choices, and those choices are subject to change. Everything. In the present, the Indiana Fever are using borrowed time to play. Everyone. Another chapter is the game in which Clark sits out, written in a narrative that might conclude with her leaving. Additionally, groups such as the Liberty is observing, anticipating, and constructing. Due to the fact that when Clark is available, it won't only be a fight for free agency. It will be a conflict that changes the league. One that, already, the Fever are losing without even being aware of it. Thus, this is the last. The truth. Nobody in Indiana wants it. To listen. Either you construct around Caitlin, do the right thing, Clark, or you risk losing her forever. Additionally, based on appearances, they have already made a decision. They have selected mediocrity. They have opted for ego.
They've
Selected a route that culminates with the walking is the best player of the generation.
away.
Not that she desired to, but since they left her with no other option. Everybody